John Asbury here. In this video, I'm going to describe the comprehensive exam requirement of the chemistry graduate curriculum. The comprehensive exam is the go, no-go decision point for continuation of the PhD studies in the chemistry graduate curriculum. The exam should be completed by the end of the 5th semester of graduate study. Some students will take it in the summer after their second year, but the fifth semester, the fall of your third year, is that 5th semester. That's the more common time. Now, there are 2 writing requirements and 2 proposal presentation requirements within the comprehensive exam. These regard what we call the inside research proposal. This is the proposal and the presentation that describe your dissertation research, both your progress to date, because this is now, you're roughly halfway through your graduate program. So your research progress to date, as well as your future plans to finish out over the next few, 2 or so years. You'll also have an original research proposal and corresponding presentation. And I'll describe the 2 options that exist for what that original research proposal can be. These are related to your choice of the second year seminar topic that was described in another video. Those options exist to help to best suit the needs and interests of both the student, your interest, as well as the faculty member that you're working with. Let's begin by talking about the inside research proposal and its presentation. Okay. As I mentioned, this proposal and presentation describe your planned dissertation research as well as your progress to date. It is often a significantly expanded version of the proposal, the very short proposal you wrote for the doctoral qualifying exam. It'll be significantly expanded both in terms of length as well as your understanding of the field and your description of the fundamental concepts or the reaction mechanisms that underpin your work. You should plan a roughly 20-minute in duration presentation. It's based on that proposal. I say 20 minutes with a big asterisk because that 20-minute presentation, if you weren't interrupted by questions, will take you something like 60 to 80 minutes to complete because your committee will have lots of questions. Now, your committee will can ask any question that's relevant to getting a PhD in chemistry. That can be very, very broad and is often focused on making sure that you can articulate what those fundamental concepts are. So, for example, if you're in a spectroscopy group, like my own, you would be expected to know the fundamentals of light matter interactions, electron transfer theory, catalysis. If you're in a catalysis group, you would be expected to know a great deal about the fundamentals of electronic interactions that determine catalytic reaction pathways and energetic barriers, and so on. If you're an organic synthetic group, you would be expected to know a great deal about organic reaction mechanisms and established types of reactions and the conditions in which they work and substrates in which they don't work and things like this. So these are those sort of foundational concepts that your research is then built upon. It's really important that you be able to understand that. And so the committee will be asking you all manner of questions to make sure that you do. And so you want to prepare for that. That committee will also be asking you questions to gauge your understanding of just your ability to use those concepts to discuss the needs in the field and the goals of the research. They'll look to you to be able to articulate the specific hypotheses or the plans and of how to expand the reaction scope that demonstrate that you understand what those challenges are, what the needs of the field are, and you can articulate them in terms of those fundamental concepts. they'll look for you to discuss your own results so far. As mentioned in the video about the qualifying exam, it's normal that your work would build on the work of others from the group, and their work can be included as background. But it's important that your discussion of your inside research proposal have a significant amount of your own work in it, because that's how you will demonstrate that you have mastered the methods that are needed to make progress in your planned research. And finally, your committee will look for you to discuss how successful completion of those research plans will allow you to address those challenges and to inform the work of others in the field. So these are it's very, very, very broad, right? This is this breadth of scope of what the committee is looking for are really what you need to demonstrate that you are a scientist and you're prepared to make a significant contribution to your field. Now let's discuss the original research proposal. Okay, this is a separate document. It's just both the inside and the original research proposal are described in detail in the graduate program guidelines document. And there's two options for the original research proposal. The first option we call the original inside aim proposal. This is a proposal that is related to your dissertation research. This proposal is really sometimes it's the first opportunity you will have to identify and evaluate a critical need in the literature that's related to your research, and to demonstrate your ability to formulate a hypothesis-driven research plan to address that challenge on your own. This is your original idea. Okay. The original inside aim proposal is meant to be distinct. It's to be related to your dissertation research, but be distinct from it by building on it. So your original inside aim should begin from successful completion of your inside proposal, and then you should propose what the next steps would be. How would you build on that beyond what is in your inside proposal to address a challenge that you identify? And finally, this option is typically paired with the related to research option, or option 1 of the second year seminar, as described in a separate video and also in the grad program guidelines. The second option for the for the original research proposal is what we call the outside proposal. And basically, it's just a topic that's distinct from your research. So it's a topic that you would identify of your own interests. You can, of course, discuss some of this with your graduate preceptor to get some guidance, but it needs to be for your own creation if you choose this option. Again, is an opportunity for you to evaluate a critical need in literature and to demonstrate the ability to formulate a hypothesis-driven research plan to address it. You can choose any topic related to some aspect of chemistry or chemistry-related research. It's very, very, very open. Just if you choose this option, it just can't be related to your own dissertation research. And also, this option is typically paired with the distinct from research option, or option 2 of the second year seminar, because preparation for that seminar can serve as the background literature search that you need to do to prepare the outside proposal. And so you can see the alignment of those two requirements to really help you achieve success in the comprehensive exam. Finally, let's discuss what the possible outcomes are after the comprehensive exam, but what the committee can decide. So typically you would, when you take the comprehensive exam, your committee will ask you to step out. They'll have some discussion. They'll bring you back in. They'll ask you to begin with your inside proposal presentation. That'll take an hour and change. They'll then ask you, when they're satisfied that that's done, they'll ask you to switch to the original proposal. they'll ask you to give a short elevator pitch for why it's important, and they'll have you dig in, plan 30 to 40 minutes for that. At the end, they'll ask you to leave again. They'll call you back in and they'll tell you their decision. That decision will be one of three things. First is they can decide that you passed. That's clearly the goal, your goal and their goal. They want you to pass. Okay. That is appropriate if you've demonstrated mastery of all the components of both the inside and the original research proposals. Whether you chose the inside aim or the outside proposal, they want to see you have mastered those components. And what exactly that mastery means is what that committee has, they're the deciding body to determine that. And it doesn't require perfection. They can ask you questions and you may not know the answers to all those questions, but you should be able to have an understanding of those fundamental concepts and be able to discuss them on your feet and how they relate to your program. That would be one outcome of the preferred outcome for the comprehensive exam. The committee might decide that you didn't pass the exam, but that they would give you the opportunity to retake. So that's the fail with opportunity to retake option. That would be appropriate if you did well on one of the proposals, but maybe not the other. Or if your ability to handle questions related to fundamental concepts was not as strong as they would have liked. Okay. They'll give you that feedback. And they'll give you the opportunity to retake the exam, and it's typically within 4 to 8 weeks of the original attempt. It has to be taken by the end of the following semester that you did the first attempt. Okay, so that could be as long as, say, 12 weeks or even more. But you want it typically to be shorter, closer in, and you want to be able to respond to the committee's guidance about how to improve, and then do it again and pass. Not performing well on one of those proposals typically means that the committee identified some deficiency or weakness in your demonstrated mastery of some component of those proposals or of those fundamental concepts. And the committee does make the final determination. It is the committee's job to evaluate your mastery of these components. So they will make the final determination. There is a third option if the committee feels it's necessary, which is the fail with no opportunity to retake. And this would be appropriate if you performed poorly on both proposals. We're basically unprepared. And if the committee members feel that it's unlikely that you would be able to rise to the level to pass the comprehensive exam within the typical 4 to 8 week time frame that a retake could be offered. And if they felt that was the case, then they would choose this third option. There is an appeal process that you can exercise that's described in the GCAC policy 803. And this is a hyperlink in the slide that you can click on to access that policy.